Factorio Space Age. That's not a thing that's going to take hundreds of hours to play through to completion. Well, I suppose I may as well start those hundreds of hours. So, firstly, because it will inevitably come up as a question, what mods are you using? Very few of them. So, rate calculator is very useful, so I'll be showing that. Text plates, because we might want to label some things. Nixie tubes, because I do like my numeric displays of how many robots I've got and things like that. And then some extra achievements, because, you know, some silly achievements based on things that happened during multiplayer games that I had years ago. So, yeah, and let's play. Free play. And everybody ignores these, we know that. And I'm going to go for a pretty vanilla map, really. I'm not going to change this around. I'm not going to make life easy for myself by adding loads of richness or big ore patches. I want to have a sort of a very pure Factorio experience. Having said that, one thing that I am going to do is put the water scale up. I really like this sort of feeling that you're on kind of these nice land masses and you've got obvious bits where you can defend and kind of build things where biters are not going to get to them, all of that, while still not cheating and making it an island. I did do that. Here's a horrible admission on my part. I did do the island thing when I got the 40-hour game completion achievement. It does take time dealing with these lads, but we shouldn't have too much problem with that in this game. We've got a little nest of lads down here, and we'll have some more to deal with to go to the oil. But other than that, it should all be quite good. There's a little bit of distance between the water, where I will need to get power from, and the resources, but these are all close together. They're not overlapping. So I think this is a good map. Let's take what I've been given. And what I've been given is a horrible spaceship crash, which I've survived. Yay! In a horrible spaceship crash, I've taxed worse. Yes, let's begin. Let's begin by setting myself a nice deep purple colour. There we go. I shall be a purple engineer. And I shall press Alt to find out what's in these boxes. And then have a little run around, see what we've got. So up here I've got some rocks. Really, when I'm looking at the rocks, what I want is a nice rock which has got coal in it. And I don't think any of these have, unfortunately. I think these are just stone. But I will grab them. I will destroy them and put them in my pockets, as you naturally do with boulders, because that will let me craft lots of stone furnaces. And I will be needing a lot of stone furnaces. So in terms of mining drills, I do need to build some mining drills, but first I need to get some coal. This is the bit which I wanted the rocks for, because this is painful. It takes ages to mine coal out of the ground. Now, anybody whose hobby is mining coal out of the surface will know that. Yes, let's place a mining drill and place a furnace, and then I'm going to take my coal, put coal in my hotbar, because I'm going to be using a lot of it. Set that going and just destroy some trees. Yes, I've played quite a lot of Factorio, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm me. I never know what I'm doing in a game, but generally anything which feels like it's subjugating the environment and bending it to your will is useful in Factorio. So there we go. We'll chop down some trees, and later I will make some power poles. But for now, I need more iron plates. Oh, producer cog. That's it. That's Factorio 1. We've built a cog. That's the entire purpose of the game. And it's over in just a few minutes. Excellent. No, there's a lot more to this. So I'm going to place two of these facing each other, because once I place some coal into one of them, and it starts mining coal, it will output into that one, which means that they now fuel each other forever and ever, or at least until we run out of coal. So this is the beginning of a classic Factorio thing called a coal snake. Oh, and I've run out of coal up here. So this is why the coal snake is useful, because we will need a lot of coal for our iron plate production. And it's not a rock with coal in it. Such disappointment. The standard of rocks in this world, it's just going down and down. Let's grab some trees while I wait for more iron. And then if once I've got more iron, I can build another couple of mining drills and extend the coal snake. There we go. So that now gives us 4 of those, which I will want more, but that will be enough at least to get started with the iron plate production. Chop a few more trees. I like this bit of Factorio. I know that the sort of the attraction is building huge grids of machines and things, but there's a sort of nice contemplative feel to this stage where you're just sort of gently ambling around, chopping trees, picking up coal. No, you're not. It's a nice constrained little bit of the game. It's almost relaxing. There's no factory really to deal with. There's just you and mining and coal. Oh, I can build another mining drill. So I'm going to double the coal production, because that's very much Factorio is a game of expansion. So anything that you see is like, yes, we should double that production. We should make more of that. We should do more until our CPU eventually just kills over and says, no more Factorio for you. You're not allowed any more factory. And then you go on the forums and you ask questions about, how can I, this is using all of my updates. How can I get better updates per second? Coal snake is starting to work well, but let's make it more of a snake, because we all know that snakes are perfectly rectangular and organised in grids. And there we go. And just going to grab some more plates out of that, make another mining drill. And I'm not going to go for the achievement where you don't craft. Well, not that you don't craft anything by hand, because that is an achievement of just running around the map with nothing ever getting built. But you aim to build the minimum of items by hand. I'm not going to go with that. It's fun, and if you're playing the game yourself, I recommend doing a lazy bastard run, which is the name of that achievement, because it will teach you so much about the game and how to automate everything. Because otherwise you end up, there's a temptation to handcraft things which are difficult to build assembly lines for. And then you find yourself at a point where you actually need them automated. And you're like, oh, this is now really hard. I now have to learn a whole load of the game at a stage where what are you talking about? At a stage where the game is already very complex. So kind of learning how to craft things when the game is simple will help you a lot. These are the kind of things which I should take on board myself, and I never do. I play Factorio completely ineptly. So I'm going to fill these up. I'm going to hold down the Z key, or possibly the Z key if you're that way inclined. And sort of, because as I do that, that will just drop items. But if you're dropping items over a machine, that will fill that machine with those items. And so by moving the cursor, I'll get a nice even distribution of coal into those. So that's 6 of these. That's probably enough to begin with. You see I'm starting to be able to make more of these. So I'm going to put down a couple of trees in the way. All trees must be punished for their insolence. Yeah, so I'm going to pop down a couple of miners on this coal patch with a chest and let them mine into that. So that will give me a nice supply of stone because the rocks have disappointed me. There you go, more insolent trees. Well, forest, the entire forest must be punished for the actions of a single tree. Okay, excellent. So I've got enough stone to build a couple more of these little pyramid furnaces. Ooh, that's running out of coal. Let's pop some more coal in there. This is very much the Factorio early game is really about just running around, putting coal in things, and then going, why isn't there any coal in the things? And also building stone furnaces. And there. Oh, that's not... I haven't built my furnace yet. So another useful thing which really speeds things up when you're running around constructing things is Q. And I don't think there's an American English pronunciation of Q. I think it is just Q everywhere. Can I play a game of Factorio without causing some sort of international diplomatic incident? Possibly. But yes, Q is the pipette tool, and that will let you kind of pick up an entity and go and place more versions of it. That's a really terrible explanation of what's going on. But basically, press Q, click on things, then you don't need to select them in your inventory, and it speeds stuff up very slightly, which is, yeah, Factorio, all about efficiency. Now I'm going to go and start thinking about power production. Actually, no, I want to be able to build everything once I get over there. So I'm going to collect some copper, make some power poles, do some more coal topping up. It's all, see, Factorio, it's nice at this stage. It's just maintenance, and I probably should explain also what I'm doing there, which is just holding down control while I've got the coal in my hands, and clicking on the entity. Why? Because that will put if I left click, it will put an entire stack of coal in there, which is 50 coal, or if I've got less than 50 in my hand, it will just put that much in there. If I right click, it'll put half a stack, so 25. But that, when you have enough coal that the sort of holding down Z and dragging just mousing over these entities, it's quicker and more efficient. That's what I'm trying to say. Falling over my own words. I should extend the coal snake a little more, so I can get more coal out of it. And hopefully I'm not polluting too much, because at some point there were some lads down sort of south here, and they're going to get upset. So I'm going to check my map, and oh dear, those lads are already going to get upset. So I will be attacked soon. That's bad. Okay, so I'm going to build a lab, and I'm going to build a chest, and I already built that underground pipe, so that's good. I'm going to want lots of coal, because I'm going to go and set up power. And a burner inserter. Yes, inserty boys, they're very useful. Oh, there's some lads over there as well, and I have a horrible feeling that once I start polluting, those lads are going to be upset with me. So let's get that. And I'm going to place an underground pipe. This is just a habit of mine. to place these underground pipes. And I just like the idea of being able to walk between my power plant, which is going to be 2 steam engines to start with, and an electric small pole. Yeah, I like the idea of being able to walk between the lake and the power plant. You know, have a pleasant, gentle stroll around the lake while admiring all the pollution that I'm creating. Okay, so that burner inserter. So this is a burner inserter, so it's fueled by coal. So as long as there's coal in that chest, everything will continue to work. Now place my lab and pop that down. They're going to research automation, which is lets me build factories for building things, and then military, because we are going to need military quite soon. That we are also going to need is to make sure everything is topped up with coal. So let's come back down here, get some stone. Oh, I've got a reasonable amount of stone. So I should start crafting stone furnaces. And then grab things out of the coal snake. This is great. This is where I can just start putting loads of coal in things. Make sure that iron production keeps going. Iron production is very important for the health of the factory. And I'm going to make... Actually, I should make another 15 science potions. Then that gives me enough to research military on top of automation. And this is very, very naughty in terms of Factorio terms, because I'm handcrafting things that I should automate. That's fine. I also need to make some bullets and some armour. Don't really get good armour at this stage of the game. It will be enough, because the biters also aren't really that powerful at this point. Oh, dog's off. So as long as I'm just not too ambitious with the size of base that I take on, I will get away with this. Oh no, the dog's very upset with me playing Factorio. What's up, you? Noisy boy. Right, why am I collecting fish? There is a question, isn't it? I'm collecting fish because fish can restore health. And I'm doing that because I'm completely inept. So I've got 35 fish. They will spoil. This is a thing in Space Age, that things can spoil into spoilage. And so you have to use them while they're still fresh, or lose them forever. So military science, not military science, just the concept of a military is happening. So when I researched that, failing at distributing coal. Yeah, so while I research that, let's just do some running around, putting coal in things. Oh, I've still got some more science to go in there. I should make some assembling lads and another lab. Actually, do I need another lab? The science can build 4 per minute, so I don't think I need another lab. Let's have a look. So if I Alt-X, which is rate calculator. So this is a useful mod. So that can consume, yes, 4 science per minute. And so if I build an assembling machine here, yes, look at that, get an achievement for it. That's excellent. I can then go, okay, how many of these do I need? So that is 1 more assembling machine than I need. So another lab. And I need some inserters. Let's build some power inserters. There you go. So that could go there. This needs a copper plate and an iron gear wheel. So I've not thought this through because there's water in the way of that. But I can build one of these long-handled inserters. I should pretend that was deliberate. And I'm giving away an important Factorio tip. I'm not. I'm being totally inept, completely unable to play the game in any meaningful or useful way. That's what's going on there. And I'm also building it. So those got placed as ghosts because I didn't have any in my hand. Let's build some weapons. So I need to actually build some. And then I will be able to press Q and put them down. There we go. And then a couple of chests. Into this I shall... Oh, don't have much copper plate. And then my iron plate in there. So what's good with that is I can now start researching some useful things. Stone walls, actually, well, the mining drills are more useful to me at this point, but I need to go and deal with my biter situation. First, a little stop off to get some plates, get some copper plates, get some coal to top up the machines. You could see here how having that coal snake, I now kind of have enough coal to just go round and drop off whole stacks of it. I say that there's not enough to fill those furnaces. It's fine. Everything is okay. Sort of. Just pop that pistol in there. Those shotgun shells. Build some more of those. Where's my power? I will need to build lamps quite soon. There you go. Copper plates. So that's now going to be making science. They're going to be sciencing up things good. Oh, I don't. This is the only problem. When you're playing this by yourself, it doesn't really matter that it's all dark. When you're playing it for other people, it kind of does. Perhaps I should have installed a mod so to see what I'm doing better. But this is very, very inept. So what's done here? Oh, this is just a couple of worms. There's no spawners here, so I'm going to leave the worms alone, as I don't want to waste my ammunition on them. But I do need to go and deal with there's a nest over there. Come on, keep sciencing. And then once I deal with that, I should be free to pollute with impunity. Well, at least for a little bit. So I'm going to hold the fish in my hand because I expect to need them once I start getting attacked. Nibbled. That's it. I'm going to watch that green bar, which is my health. Yes. Oh no, I'm getting very heavily acided. The worms kind of try to lead you, but you can get away with sort of not moving predictably, which I'm terrible at. That's fine. That's the worms dealt with. So I can fish up. If I press C to change my weapon, I now have a shotgun. Ha ha! I've done myself out of an achievement doing that, which is there is an achievement to destroy the first nest with artillery. But that means getting to another planet first, and then only after that destroying a nest. And that is quite hard. You kind of need to work out how to wall off the nests and expand around them and all of that. So a bit too much ambition for a fairly casual playthrough. So I now have a functioning-ish base, but a very manual base. Now, this will need automating because this is Factorio and everything must be automated. Automate all the things. Automate yourself out of existence. Actually, you do. You do get to a point where you don't really need this engineer character. The factory can just do stuff itself. Until that point, I have to do a lot of running around grabbing things. So let's make some power poles. because I want to bring power down from there where the power is being made. And I should possibly make more power as well. Nice. General assumption in Factorio is it's a good idea to be making more of something. So while those power poles craft, and I'm going to give that some more coal. I'm going to bring the power over to where my resource patches are. Let's try to be nice and organised with this. I say that lasted all of about 5 seconds. Let's be total spaghetti chaos with this, because that is really my ethos. That's my Factorio playstyle, is just total spaghettification of everything. I just don't care. Structural rebel, I guess, is the way you could put that. I'm going to build some more of those. That will be fun, building lots of those. And then I need to build a lot of transport belts. Or rather, I need to... Dog's going crazy in the background. That's why the random pause. If you... I don't know if you heard that. There's sort of an off-gassing noise. Need to build some transport belts as well. But what I also probably should start thinking about is building some of the ingredients for these things in a factory, rather than just doing that. Oh, pipes. Pipes are a useful thing to put on the hotbar. And let's connect those to power. Let's build... Oh, no. So you can just right-click on these and cancel them if, like an idiot, you've set up a long crafting queue and then realised that you need to build other things, like chests. Right. Hopefully that that will now work. That will give me... Wait for that to craft. This is why you don't handcraft, because then you just end up waiting ages for things to happen. That's good. So I've expanded power. Click on that power pole. That will tell me what's going on. There you go. 3.6 megawatts of power. That will not last long. And electric mining drill is being researched, which is good. So I can build some transport belts while that gets researched. How am I doing on pollution? Oh, so that red pollution cloud is expanding. It's expanding a lot because I'm building. Well, not really a lot by Factorio terms. That's pollution for you. You do the slightest thing, and there is pollution. So certainly in this early stage of the game where everything is coal powered, so it's like yep. Everything just creates huge clouds of smog. And eventually, like, the trees will start dying, the water will start turning green. You're like, this is excellent. And that's pretty much Factorio in a nutshell. Is Cyril Sneer Simulator. Was that? No, it's not a big coal rock. I will destroy it anyway, because subjugating the environment is the Factorio way. Let's go for a wander around the base. So what I'm doing here is I am trying to see where trouble is going to come from. So this is expanding out the fog of war so that I can see if there's any biter bases in it. But eventually they're going to start expanding. So I have set expansion left. I've left expansion on. So the biters will be starting to expand sort of generally to, I think just generally, like they just generally expand. I'm not sure there's any sort of, they're trying to expand towards the centre. They will just build new bases, and some of those new bases will be in the direction of my factory. But I think we're good for now. And hopefully, by the time I get back... Oh, the worms. I probably shouldn't leave them there. Okay, since I'm good for now... Let's destroy those worms. More subjugation of the environment, and that includes the critters as well as the natural resources. That's good. So those worms will no longer surprise me. I'll have to find other worms to be surprised by. And more coal into these, because they are continuing to burn coal. Some more coal into those to get more stone. Yes, I've researched mining drills, so logistics is the next useful thing, and fast inserters, and then also some weapon damage. It's probably a good idea, so they can go on the offensive. Right, let's craft some electric lads. It will take a while, and you start seeing here where I'm crafting a lot of things by hand, which would be easier if I could just grab them from a box. So once I've got those mining drills up and running, I may go and sort that out. That might be the next thing to do. Check coal stocks. It's okay. It'll do. That'll be fine. What did I come up here for? I came up here to put some more. Yes, put some more plates in there so that can keep building science. And now I'll go back down here to not to keep doing this, basically. So it's now time for the next phase of Factorio, which is electric mining drills. Now I'm going to pop some. Actually, that's a bad idea, because how am I going to power those? How are we going to power those, you idiot? So yes, so I'm going to pop some down here. Ultimately, I'm going to need 15 per side, at least in this early game. We'll get research, which improves that. It means you need fewer mining drills. But for now, that's a magical number which I haven't explained, and I'm not going to do it because it will consume a lot of power. And let's explain the magical number. So what we want to do in Factorio, because the factory must grow, the environment must be subjugated, the trees must be destroyed for their insolence, the worms must be... Yeah, we've got to destroy the worms too. That's how it is. Sorry, worms. We want these belts to be completely full most of when they come out of a mining drill, because that's very efficient use of our belt capacity, as it were. Okay, so I'm trying to think, where do I want to build my factory? I think I'm going to build it heading north. So you're going to sort of leave our sort of ship there. You know, someone can come along and say, you can't park there, mate. And unfortunately I have. So yes, let's... yeah, that can go up there like that. Just pop those iron ores in there for now. Hooray, more coal for the coal gods. This phase of the game is rapidly coming to an end. So what I do need is more stone, because I need to build... Actually, I've kind of got enough of those. What I need then is lots of inserty boys. And I need some more electric mining drills as well. Oh no, I've got some. So I'm also going to mine some coal. Because, yes, the thing which I was using the coal snake, I've just made the mistake which I just told myself off for making. Well done. That's some great gameplay. Let's leave enough space for power poles. There we go. Enough space for power poles successfully left. So let's pop those down there. And these are useful, so these belts are going to go in the hotbar, because I will need to build a lot of them. So the thing which I have been doing by hand, which is grabbing coal and putting it in a furnace, can be automated. Haha! This is the game which then you lose the rest of your life to. Insolent tree! Do I punish you for your insolence, right? Okay. Okay. I'm going to bring the coal up here. And so I've researched logistics. What does that mean? That means that I can start building things like splitters and underground belts. Or I can't because I don't have enough raw materials. But if I had enough raw materials, which is not a difficult problem to solve, I can build some splitters and some underground belts. And I can also wait for my inserter to be built. But while I do that, let's hoover up some coal. Slurp. And, oh, I've got a lot of coal now. 518 of it. So I'm going to go up to where my power is being generated. Because if this runs out of coal, it's very bad. Because my base will have no power. Because my miners are now electric, nothing will be mined. Yes, let's just say it's a situation which I want to avoid. Right. So, have I built these? Yes, I've built some splitters, so those can go there. And at some point, I've built some underground belts. Yes, so I'm going to split this like this, with no explanation whatsoever of why I'm doing this. Excellent. Well done. And then I'm going to build, very importantly, 24 stone furnaces. So when that number says 26, through the joy of that's how mathematics works, I have built 24 of those. And so these, just like the miners where long pauses, everybody loves long pauses when you're explaining something. Just like the miners, where 15 aside will fill a complete belt, on these, 24 aside will fill a complete belt. A complete belt of what, you may ask? Because I'm explaining nothing. This is Factorio expressed as a mystery, as a sort of murder she wrote of Jessica Fletcher trying to find out what happened here. Why did he do these things? Why was he imprisoned? Well, that was imprisoned, murdered. That's it. Murder She Wrote is about murders. It's not imprisonment. She wrote. Yeah. So I'm going to take this here, and now some Factorio magic is going to occur. A mixed belt. Yes, because these, where I had been running around placing coal in them, and the miners had been mining iron ore into them, we're now going to automate that process. This is just making the point that this is not automated. This relies on me running around. Oh, actually, that's a different icon. That is, you've used all of the coal. Sorry, no. A different icon, a different state. That's you've used all of the iron ore. So I'm just going to grab that up, because there's no point having a mining drill where there is nothing to mine. So yes, these resource patches will get depleted. And because I'm on standard vanilla settings, they will probably get deleted. No, they're not getting deleted. They'll probably get deleted quite. Language is a thing which you use to express concepts in a way which is understandable to those who are on the receiving end of it. Yes, so when those resources get depleted, I've run out of my context window. I think there was a thing. So yes, so when those resources get depleted, we have to go and find more. And because I'm on the default settings, they will get depleted fairly quickly if I keep mining them. But anyway, I now have some iron plates. Hurrah. Yay me. Let's put some inserters in my quick bar. So I'm going to start by just putting some of them into a chest for later usage. And I'm going to put a limit on this chest so that it only builds up, let's say, 4 stacks of them. And that's to stop all of your production going into just pointlessly filling chests, which is easy to do and a bit of a failure state in Factorio. Next thing is I'm going to build some cogs. Cogs are very important. Cogs are the lifeblood of Factorio. And that I'm also going to limit. I was going to say 4 piles of those. So this is going to very, very slowly build up a stack of cogs. This means that I don't have to have this part of the crafting. If I just go to my coggery and just pick up cogs, it will all just work. Excellent. So that's half a plate or half a belt of iron automated. I'm now going to go automate power production, or rather automate the coal going to power production. Power production is more important than the rest of the factory. So I'm going to say this should, if there's a gap on the right, it should always output to the right, because that's where the power is. Which will have a nice, this will perform a nice natural limiting function. Which is, what is it? Explain what it is. So the nice natural function that will do, oh no, I'm going to grab all of the coal up and cause a disaster because I haven't actually got any coal going here. So there we go. Let's pop that. Oh, I forgot what I just said. I've lost my train of thought already. It's going so well. Right. Yes, so it's going there, and therefore when this starts running out of coal, the smelting arrays where those furnaces were built will also start running out of coal, which means that the whole factory will slow down and hopefully use less power. So this will be ideally a kind of a self-regulating mechanism. Self-regulating things are very good in Factorio. Not just that they are pleasing to one's sensibilities, which that is a valid way to play Factorio, to go, this is pleasing to my sensibilities, so therefore I think I should have more of it. Oh, this is a problem. So I want to empty these chests. I want to get rid of this coal and use it in a productive manner. But obviously the electric miners are going to fill that up. So I'm going to set input priority here to the belt that's on the left. And then if I put my coal in there, this will get used first, in preference to the coal coming in from here. Hooray. Why is that good? Because this will nicely empty those chests. It's a sort of self-regulating thing again, which once those are empty, all of the coal will be drawn from the right-hand side, and this will just continue to work. But until then, all of that coal, which I put great effort into mining and carrying around, let's put a power pole there, will still be productively used. It won't sit in a chest forever, sort of, well, not rotting because coal doesn't spoil, but making me feel sad. There we go. Okay, so got some electric miners. I'm still having to craft cogs. That's bad. That is not a good situation. Cog crafting is a waste of time. And well, it's not a waste of time overall, but crafting cogs myself when I could be crafting them automatically is bad. So next thing is to grub up these. Oh, that's okay. It's fine. Fine. Ignore me. Grub up those and replace those with electric mining. And so copper is copper's not something you need that much of early game. You still need a sort of an amount. So I'm going to bring copper over here, and this is going to become already a horrible spaghetti mess, because that's how Factorio should work, is complete and total spaghetti. No, Factorio should be organised, and I am not going to. I'm going to rebel. I'm going to just create disastrous factory, which is going to be a complete mess. Nothing is going to be logical or understandable about how my factory works, because that is how I roll in Factorio. Okay, let's build another half stack of furnaces. This is going to be more than my mining capacity. You see, actually, that's the case for the iron as well. Oh, I should be building more inserters. I'm actually running out of inserters. There we go. More inserters for the inserter god? God of insertion? That sounds very unfortunate. Try not to think about a god of insertion, or where the insertion might happen. Family-friendly channel achievement locked. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing here that I did with the other furnace stack. Put a set of inserters down. I'm probably going to run out of... Yes, I'm going to run out of inserters before I have the thing completed, but that's fine. I'll just place those down for now. And next, we are going to pop that underground there. Pop that there. Pop that there. There we go. That's good. And realise that I have very much made a horrible mess here, because this doesn't have enough room. Okay, let's undo that. Wouldn't it be lovely if you watched this gameplay of someone who was actually competent at the game, actually kind of knew what they were doing, was able to, provide some useful gameplay tips and advice, rather than don't do it the way I do it. The way I do it is terrible. Okay, that's good. We can just split that off there. Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. It's great. It's the perfect way to play Factorio. Subjugate some insolent trees. There we go. That's looking nice. Okay, so I've got now some copper coming up here, and I kind of want to build... I'm not going to build it all like this, but I want to sort of set this up with the idea of building what is known as a bus, which is where you build sort of just have all of the materials which are needed for your factory just going in a nice sort of line upwards, and you just build all your assembly bits off the side. And oh yes, grab those, make some more inserters. And it's a way of organising things, really. Which I don't know why I'm doing it, because I'm the creator of total spaghetti and mess and chaos. No, don't build Myrna mining drills. Build electric mining drills. There we go. And inserters and things. So coal is okay. That's doing fine. Insolence. Right, there we go. Let's got rid of that. Power's okay. So I think what I can start doing here is increasing my science production, because I now have both iron plates and copper, which are what's needed for the science. So let's start with building... Oh, let's start with building assembly machines. And I'm still in the midst of handcrafting drills, because I didn't pay attention to my own advice, my own very good advice about making sure that all the prerequisites for your stuff are built so that you don't have to spend ages handcrafting cogs. I've listened to none of that, and I've set myself on a path for abject failure. Actually, also, I've set myself on a path for failure here by not really thinking about how I'm going to extend the sentence that I'm saying. How I'm going to extend the coal so that I can build more of those stacks of furnaces. That's fine. Let's expand copper. That's a thing that I know how to do. I don't, because I need more of these. Need more transport belts. Yes. So this is why we don't handcraft, because sooner or later you end up in the situation which I'm in here, where everything is waiting in a queue behind everything else. And you're like, I want the things, but the things are not built. You must be patient. But I'm not capable of patience. Impatient person. I want it all instantly. Yes, right. Okay. These inserters are a bit pointless to build at the moment because I don't really have enough copper. But it's fine. It's a thing that I have in my hand. And so therefore building it saves me from building it later. It will be ready for the future. Cogs. Have I got... Yes, I've got one of these. So one thing that I'm also going to start building here is, if I can, so I'm going to pop thing there which takes iron. That's the word you're looking for. Oh no, I need a long boy. So that's going to take iron, that's going to take copper. Why? Why are you doing this thing? Because I want to build circuits. Circuits take a copper cable and an iron plate. There we go. Once I've built my long-handed boy, I can connect that up and that will slowly build circuits. This is a very inefficient build in terms of Factorio ratios. So if I use rate calculator, you'll see that I actually need another half an assembler of copper cable to fully satisfy that machine. So that becomes more important when you're building things in bulk, when you're kind of building lots of things, because then you don't want to build machines where the machines that depend on them aren't using all the production, and then you just have sort of wasted space, and you've wasted all the production building those machines and all of the rest. Yeah, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is to have machines in a nice ratio where you only have as many machines as you need. Oh yes, I've got my long boy. That's my Greyhound inserter. Well, I'm not sure actually between the Greyhound inserter, because would it be the long boy? Because Greyhounds are long boys, or long girls, or long Greyhounds of whatever they choose to identify as. It's very difficult for humans to ask, so we don't know. But there we go. We just do that. We're just like, oh yeah, this one will put a pink collar on. It's fine. Where was I going? So the other one is these, because these are fast inserters, which insert at speed. The reason I put a fast inserter there is because these take 2 iron plates. So having more insertage per in second is useful. And now I'm going to build my red science. So this is going to be 5 of these. Should get me 30 science per minute, which is a kind of a good starting point. Now let's output the cogs to a belt. And what I also need to make the science is a copper plate. So this is a bit cheeky, really. Actually, no, it's not a bit cheeky to here. That's what you built that splitter for, man. And what I failed at here is this is splitting off, but that will be too big a gap for an underground vault. So I'm going to move that there. This is why you don't build spaghetti, by the way. This is when people say you shouldn't build spaghetti. That's what they're cautioning you against. Is they're saying, hey, if you build spaghetti, you're going to end up in this place where you want to put things there, and the place for them to be put, which would be nice and free and available if you had built your factory neatly, will be full of spaghetti. In this case, it's going to be full of trees, because trees are insolent and must be punished. A short break for some tree punishment here, and then I will get back to the important job of building the factory, for the factory must grow. Go, right. That needs some power, and that's now building grid science. Yay! So next up is the ability to make use of that red science, which means building some labs. I've built some greyhound inserters. Now let's build some Labradors. All right. Copper plate's the same. Make sure I've got some of those, get some cogs, get some circuits, and then build more of these domey boys and start my very own centre parks. So while I do that, I'm going to go round here and get rid of these labs. Oh, can't get rid of Labradors. What a cruel, horrible man. And subjugating the environment and chopping down trees is fine, but dogs are lovable, and so therefore should not interfere with their existence. Insolent. But so I'm going to pick those labs up, and now I'm going to start building a nice science row. And we absolutely, when I play this with friends, because somehow people still agree to play with this with me, despite my utter chaotic ineptitude and habit of building spaghetti, we definitely call this a science row or a science line, or yes, and we don't call it insolence, pure insolence. We don't call it pure insolence, because that is a tree function. We definitely don't call it by the name of anything else, which you might, while a little bit merry, call an object which is long and thin. God, the UK government's going to be at me for, like, make sure that you ID everybody before they view your channel, because they might learn about a word which, when I was at school, we used to just get the biggest dictionary we could to see how many rude words were in it. So I'm making 30 science a minute, but I'm only able to consume 10 a minute with these labs. So let's build some more labs. You know the word by now. You know my views on trees and their assumed state of mind. A word that begins with I. That's it. Tree insolence temporarily dealt with, because tree insolence seems to be infinite. I can start building some more labs there, get my science up to speed, and handcraft some more. Oh, I've got some bottles. Let's put those bottles in there. And grab more cogs and grab more circuits. So this, it's like the game meta, isn't it? Is you start out running around doing coal. That sounds like sort of a Chris Morris drug. So you start out running around doing coal, and now we're running around doing cogs and circuits and insolent trees, because I want to get my labs up to the point where they can science 30 science per minute, and that involves building. Well, let's see. 2 rows of those is 20. So if I complete that row, and also this is nice. This is a nice ordered grid. It's not a phallic symbol. So that's good, isn't it? We like no science. Definitely not a word that begins with P for us. We're going to organise our science in a nice grid. So that's all good. And now I want to green science and steel processing, and radars and gun turrets. And then prepare for green science. I'm going to make some more assembly boys. And I'm also going to, here, do something a bit cheeky, which is I'm going to make some spaghetti because I will want to make steel, but I need some coal for that. Spaghetti. Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. All kinds of pasta. There we go. Let's pop that round there. Yay. Tagliatelle. Linguine. I don't know why the enthusiastic voice for linguine. Linguine. Papala. Let's just, well, we've already caused a whole ZZ incident, so why not also cause some... I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not a thing that I want. Why not also say Italian words in a stupid voice and cause a diplomatic incident there as well? Right, so I'm only going to make 5 of these. These, once I've... Actually, I'll move that along, because that's going to take a long time to research. And as may have become obvious from me saying this, language, it's a thing which can be used to express concepts to other people in a way that they understand. As may be obvious from that, I am not a patient man. I'm a very, very impatient man. I want more factory and I want it now. I think that was a Queen song, wasn't it? And that's very prophetic. Like, Queen were very ahead of their time, because they wrote a song called I Want It All, which had the lyrics, I want it all, and I don't know, something like, I desire it imminently. And they wrote that song, which is clearly about Factorio, in a time before Factorio existed. Very clever. Very, very clever. I'm getting lost in my own lore. So these, once I've researched steel processing, will make steel. That's good. And you know what we do with steel? We despair at the noises our dog is making in the background. I don't know how many of those we'll come across. Just this sort of dog making noise, dog making noise, dog making noise. So let's see if I can refocus the camera. There we go, lovely. Dog noise. Everybody wants that in there. What was once a very relaxing video about Factorio and now is an incredibly unrelaxing video by a man who keeps saying Linguini in a stupid voice. That's where this is going. Oh, my science grid is not very griddy. This is because that was a very fast science research. So some science is researched faster than others, which means you need fewer science centre parks to science them. Language is a means by which concepts can be expressed to your fellow humans in a way that they readily understand. So some sciences are quicker, but some sciences are slower, and therefore you need more domes. I've researched green science, but insolent trees are in the way and must be destroyed. I don't need a tree destroying theme. Really, I don't. No. Well, yes, actually, yes. Subjugate, destroy, impinge, untree. Whatever. Actually, that's where my labs are. I don't need to impinge upon the trees in that region. I just need to make space here. Why do I need to make space here? Because I want to build green science, which will require... What will green science require? Well, firstly, it's going to require 6 of these to build 30 green science. How do I know that? I just remember it. But in fact, there's a very easy cheat with the sciences as to the ratio you need, which is their crafting time. So that takes 5 seconds. So therefore, in an assembler which has half an item per second crafting speed. Therefore, you need 5 of them. This takes 6 seconds, so you need 6 assemblers. That's simple Factorio tip there. You can use the seconds of crafting time to work out what ratio you need assemblers in, until you get to the awkward recipes where they start making 2 items or 3 items per craft. But that's a little while off. Meanwhile, let us make the ingredients for this. So these take inserters and transport belts. So we're not going to be making those straight off. So I need a bit of space in which to make these. Insolence, insolence, insolence and punishment. Insolence and punishment. Insolence and punishment. I should be making more science. Researching the last of the things which I need red science only for. I kind of got ahead of myself a bit there, haven't I? So there we go. Bit more space. So I need to make transport belts. Transport belts are nice and easy because they just need a cog and an iron plate. So if I split my iron off here. Well, that's a little bit close. Generally, I like building my factories a little bit further away from the main bus, because otherwise you always end up wanting to do something like run fluid through there or turn the bus around or something like that. But no, that's fine. We are building transport belts. You're going to put them on a belt. And spaghetti time. Da, 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 da. We don't need a spaghetti theme. And then, this is a thing like let's build faster cogs, more cogs for the cog god. This is a thing where I'm probably, I could build this with just one cog machine in sort of a perfect ratio. But the problem with building things in perfect ratios is they can be very slow to start production, because you kind of make just enough cogs for the first assembling machine, and then it just grabs all the cogs and things never start. So I'm going to build a cog there and build some inserters. So inserters is an iron plate, a cog. So let's get the cog ready. And then a circuit. So this, the ratio of this is not going to be correct. But looking at this with rate calculator, oh no, actually I'm wrong there. I should look at the overall thing, the green science. That will make more inserters than needed. So the fact that this ratio is completely off and wrong won't actually matter. Because languages, etc. The reason for that is because this, even though it's not technically hitting enough circuits for... Oh no, there's an insolence. Because it's technically not getting enough circuits for however many it could build at full output. But it doesn't need to build at full output to satisfy the input of the science machines. Actually, let's go around there like that. And I will need to go up here, but that's fine. We will lift. So I'll extend the predictable word screamed, and I'm out of splitters. So let's build some splitters, and let's grab some more cogs and some more circuits, because that is the meta. Cog and circuit grabbing. Grabbery of the things. So build that. So when the bus goes through there, that will have space. Let's pop that through there. It will have all the Britpop bands. It will have Suede and Pulp and... Jeez, this... I remember the last time I did Let's Play, and it was just utterly horrible, because it just descended into these sort of musical references that nobody cares about, nobody wants to hear. That doesn't... It's not valid for Let's Play. People don't watch these for references to 90s indie bands. They watch them to see good gameplay and people knowing what they're doing. So which it's time to start the researches. So, looking at my achievements, I might horribly regret this because I might not actually make this, but I've got 22 minutes to achieve one of the speedrun achievements. And come on, green science. So if I do that and then go for, I need logistics 2, and then I need railway. So let's hope I can research fast enough here. Engine, 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 engine. So the next thing I'm going to do is set up a place here in which I can build engines. Because engines are not a thing that you can handcraft. So engines need... Let's increase the spaghetti here. Actually, what can I... No, you can't do anything. You're useless at this game. So if I take that, yeah, that will work. That'll be fine. So engines will require a cog and a pipe. I know this. I know this because I've played the game. Watch that now. Watch me now be wrong about that. Watch go out like engines like, no, they need a spoon and 10 nodules. And everyone's going, oh, can't believe you didn't know that engines require a spoon and 10 nodules. I mean, what kind of Factorio player are you? How hopeless can you be? So that's going to require some inserters. There's not much point me doing this, actually, at this point. What I could do is I could grab the inserters off the production line here. And that's a very good point. We're going to filter that so that it produces transport belt on one side and inserted on the other. Place a couple of chests, put a limit on them so we don't end up with loads. And now I have excess of those is going to go into there. Perfect. Possibly merely good enough. Good enough is good enough for me. The clue's in the name there. So yes, so I'm going to do that. Build a chest there. Limit that heavily. Because I don't want all of my production to be going into just building a chest of engines in the middle of nowhere. So this is going to be a little tight. Because I've got 1 minute 38 seconds remaining on these engines. The engine research, which is going to mean about 18 minutes once that's researched. This speedrun achievement may be difficult. And how am I doing on pollution? Okay, so pollution I think is fine. Power is fine. What I'm going to do is build a radar, because that will start discovering more of my surrounding area. They're a bit chunky on power, so 300 kilowatts at this stage of the game is it's quite the requirement, should we say? Let's punish some trees, just to enact revenge for the power requirements. But it is useful to start to know, okay, what biters are around, what lads are going to be attacking me at this point once my pollution cloud expands, and go and deal with them. So this is let's take some steel plates, and also what I could be doing, steel chests. They're better because they're made of a higher class of material, and that's so I was going to give some advice, and then I stopped. Then I started failing at giving any useful advice because I got caught up with the fact that steel existed. Steel is cool. Oh, look at those. The fish are partly spoiled. Oh, excellent. Engines have been researched. So I can build engines, and they take a steel, a geel, and a peel. They take those things that I am making here. So then we'll start building engines, ready for the point at which I need to build a locomotive, which is soon. It's very soon. It's imminent. You may think 18 minutes, that's loads. They do a few laps of Spa-Francorchamps in that time. But this is Factorio, and Factorio is a world in which time just disappears. And you're like, yes, why is it now 3 a.m? I don't understand this. Why have I listened to the entire discography of Suede, including the modern ones where they got back together? And those are actually quite good. If you like that sort of thing, you will probably like that sort of thing, but newer, made by people who are slightly older. Yeah, let's get rid of that belt because that's inefficient. Yeah, Factorio is a game in which time disappears. Look, there's only 17 minutes left. And this is a big research, so that takes 7 minutes to do. So while that's doing, is there anything useful that I can be doing? Well, yes, I can be. I can be handcrafting logistic science packs. You see there where these things crafted nice and neatly because I had inserters, but these things require me to craft inserters, and eventually would require me to craft cogs and circuits. Yeah. So, yeah, so I can craft some of that. It's sort of futile, really, doing this, because your handcrafted speed is not really that high. And so this is not going to add much science per minute. Oh, the actual problem here is this is running low on cogs. I need, if I go and just put the plates and give that some plates. So that's why science is slow. It's low on stuff. Input materials. Languages, etc. Because I don't have enough miners down here. So let's add some more miners on the patch. This is the core Factorio loop here, is I don't have enough stuff mining, then go add some more miners and then start again and just keep going, really. That's how Factorio works, is just exploiting resources, punishing trees for their insolence, failing to use language. So that should be good. That should now be giving us enough of those plates that cogs are building effectively. And yeah, this is out of plates as well. So I'm just going to pop some plates in those machines manually while we wait for this to build up. And actually part of the problem is I haven't set the priority on my splitters. So I really want everything to go into science where possible. Actually, no, that doesn't matter because that's backed up. So that's a complete lie. But later it does become important to say, well, if you've got a thing you want to make, have a priority on your splitter so that it gets made. So yeah, engine units are getting made. They're quite slow to make. I will need about 20 of those, I think, for a steam engine. A steam engine? No, a locomotive. Steam engine's a completely different thing. But that does remind me that I probably should go and shore up power and also check my radar situation. So there's a base up there. So there's some lads to the north that we're going to upset sooner or later. It's fine for now. Hey, you remember I was going to give you a game tip? And I got completely lost in my own nonsense. Well, that game tip, I'm going to get lost again, is that in Factorio, you actually benefit a lot from going on the offence, from saying, yeah, I'm going to go and kill biters. I'm going to destroy up their world. There you go, look at that. More steam engines for the... Is that running joke going to get very, very quickly tired? Probably. It's not going to stop me from using it, but it's probably going to get very tired very quickly. So 13 minutes, and I still haven't researched railway. So it's going to be a very close run thing, I think, because we're down to 3 minutes left on this. The science is still not really... Actually, this is now researching at full speed, so I could just build a lab there and just sort of help things along a bit. Yes, science. Look at that. See, it's now down to just 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Well, that's researchers. That sort of spaghetti there. So I might make this. I'm going to go over there and see if there's any enemy base that's about to surprise me. So yeah, going on the offensive early means that generally you're quite a way off being attacked, because the biters will have to actually expand towards you before you're attacked. So, and you can spend so much time early on in a game of Factorio just placing down gun turrets and walls and trying to defend yourself, which can be spent on building your factory and getting science up and running, and then making things like bullets and turrets more effective. So yes, important Factorio tip, go on the offensive early. It actually really helps. Okay, logistics 2 is researching, so that's good. Yeah, so we're saying that, go on the offensive early. We're getting very close to the point at which I need to go up there and deal with it. And I can build some heavy armour. Does require a lot of copper plates and a fair amount of steel. But that's fine. That's fine. Yes, let's have the priority left. Slurp some things off the belt. Build some heavy armour. 11 minutes. 11 minutes left before I fail to get that achievement. And the whole thing of me going, yes, this is a great start to the Let's Play, because the Let's Play can begin. Oh, I got 20 engine units. That's a good start. The Let's Play can begin with me saying, hey, here's how you can getting on track like a pro without really stressing that much about it. That whole premise will fail because I won't research in time, and I won't have time to build the rail and the locomotive and all of that. Build the armour, and then we can go and investigate what's going on with those biters. Yeah, so pop that in there. So I've now got heavy armour and fish. Fish are the MVPs of early game Factorio. And the lads are out in force today. Oh, good. There we go. It's only one nest, so that's fine. And there we go. Right, pollution is fine for the next however long. That's what I wanted all along, and it's completely pointless because I don't need coal. It's fine. I'm mining it anyway as a protest. Insolent tree. And back down we go. So, yeah, railways researching. We might be able to do this. Might be able to get on track like a pro. One of the game's with speedrun achievements. It's going to be close, but the speedrun achievements really in this often are close. And back in the days of Factorio 1.0, when I used to be trying to get the there is no spoon achievement, legitimately, probably building a base, I used to, there was so much, because thing with that was complete Factorio 1 in 8 hours. Yeah, I said, a game of Space Age takes ages. That's Factorio 1, which is about a fifth the size. Yes, complete Factorio 1 in 8 hours. You would be at 5 hours, you'd be like, I've not got all the sciences up. This is going really badly wrong. I'm just not there. You'll sort of scrape past. You'd be like, 7 hours and 42 minutes, and I've achieved the speedrun achievement. And this, for people who are kind of just casual level players like me, who are not good at things, who build, I don't know, rigatoni, they're quite tight timings, and getting on track like a pro, because it requires you to be sort of vaguely competent at the early game, is very much one of those achievements where you quite often find yourself going, yeah, I'm getting this by the skin of my teeth because I'm not that good at the game. Right, let's queue cars. They're good. And I want to build a locomotive, 2 cargo wagons. I don't need the cargo wagons. This is just me showing off and possibly causing some horrible mistake, which makes it like, no, it's fine. I'm going to get my train on its rails. It's just going to be a display train at the moment. But I think there. Achieved the thing. Hooray. So yeah, at the moment it's just a display train. There's not really anything useful that I can do with it. Put some coal in it. Drive it up and down this little track. But it's just for the flex of getting the achievement. And that is a valid reason to get an achievement, I think. Possibly. Possibly not. But that, I think, is a good place to call our first bit of Factorio. I think next time I will be moving on to doing oil and possibly blue science juice. But I shall see you then, because this is already been an hour and a half, and I don't think there's that much editing that I can take out of it either. Hooray, modern YouTube. People with no respect for your time. Yeah, see you next time. Bye.